Lauren Fenmore and Michael Baldwin, a battle for trust and power in the world of intrigue and betrayal on The Young and the Restless. It's no surprise that a character like Lauren Fenmore is at the center of important decisions and complex tensions. It all started with a simple decision by Michael Baldwin. He decided to meet Jack Abbott without the permission of Victor Newman, the head of the Newman family, a powerful and strict man. However, this action of Michael became a test for the relationship between him and Lauren, causing the feelings and values that she once believed in to be strongly shaken. Michael Baldwin, the man in the storm. Michael Baldwin is a smart, sharp man who always believes in his abilities. He is not only a talented lawyer but also a devoted husband, although sometimes his career and ambition blind him. The decision to meet Jack Abbott without consulting Victor Newman, who had always controlled everything in the family, was a risky move. While Michael felt that he could control every situation, in reality, he was unaware of the potential dangers of this action. When Lauren found out about Michael's decision, her anxiety grew. Lauren was not someone who was easily deceived or easily forgiving, especially when it came to those she loved. She was well aware that if Michael continued to act so freely, he would not only get into trouble with Victor but could also drag the whole family into unnecessary conflicts. Lauren Fenmore, anxiety and betrayal. Lauren Fenmore has always been a strong, intelligent and very responsible woman. She always puts her family first and strives to maintain harmony in all relationships. However, when Michael decides to act without her, Lauren can't help but feel hurt. She worries not only about Michael's safety, but also about the decisions he is making, decisions that could affect the Newman family, which she holds dear. This worry quickly turns to frustration. Lauren begins to feel that Michael has placed too much faith in himself, to the point of forgetting the consequences he may face. She feels pushed aside, left alone while Michael fights an uncontrollable war. But what frustrates her even more is Michael's indifference to her feelings and concerns. He acts as if everything is within his reach and can be easily solved. Meanwhile, Lauren notices that he is gradually drifting away from her, focusing only on his own ambitions while forgetting about love and family values. Past and relationship with Victor. One of the important factors that made Lauren unable to accept Michael's actions was the complicated relationship between her and Victor Newman. Victor has always been a powerful man, always putting the family's interests above all else. However, the price that Lauren had to pay to maintain her relationship with Victor was not small. She had to make difficult decisions many times, giving up her principles to maintain stability in the Newman family. And this relationship caused her to face many internal conflicts. Lauren knew clearly that if she did not stand by Victor's side, the consequences would be extremely serious. But with Michael, she did not feel the same support and protection. This made her feel even more tired and pressured. She could not stand by Michael forever while he refused to listen or understand her worries. And then, when Michael decides to do something that Victor cannot accept, Lauren feels like she has been left alone in a battle with no way out. Lauren and the decision to betray. As tensions between Michael and Victor escalate, Lauren must make a crucial decision. She must choose between her love for Michael and her loyalty to Victor, who has helped her build an empire. However, in Lauren's eyes, the choice is no longer so clear. She has realized that Michael, although he loves her, is too caught up in his own ambitions and cannot understand the dangers he is bringing to the family. Lauren begins to see that she cannot continue to stand by Michael without thinking. Betrayal begins to appear, not because she no longer loves Michael, but because she feels she has no other choice. If she continues to stand by Michael, she will lose herself and possibly drag the whole family down. And it was these factors that made Lauren turn her back on the man she once loved, even though it was a painful decision. Throughout these events, Lauren faces not only external conflicts but also her own. Can she forgive Michael? Can she maintain her family relationship without sacrificing too much? Every decision she makes could change everything forever. And ultimately, she must learn to live with her decisions, even if they may be mistakes of the past. The end, can it be mended? Whether Lauren turns her back on Michael or not, their story is not over. The decisions they face will continue to erode their relationship. But perhaps, in the long run, love and understanding will be the only key to help them overcome this challenge. Can Lauren forgive Michael and return to him, or will she continue to pursue her own path? Time will tell. Summer Newman and strategic decisions. Competition in the world, marketing and complicated relationships in the world of the young and the restless. Every decision has a price, and when characters like Summer Newman, Sally Spectra, and Chelsea Lawson face challenges in their work and personal lives, things get more complicated than ever. Their relationships revolve around more than just their careers. They involve loyalty, friendship, and tense power struggles. The story continues to unfold as Summer faces a difficult decision. Can she save Marchetti from disaster, or will she put the company in even greater danger? Sally Spectra and Chelsea Lawson. Tough decision. Sally Spectra, an ambitious and talented woman, is now facing a difficult situation. She receives a promise from Summer Newman that she will stay at Marchetti if Chelsea Lawson decides to move to Newman Media. This is a decision that Sally cannot easily make. She knows that if she leaves, it will not only affect her career but also be a big change for the company and everyone around her. However, when Chelsea receives an offer to work at Newman Media, she cannot refuse this opportunity. Chelsea has always been a smart person and knows how to make the best of her career opportunities. Although she has a close relationship with Summer, working at Newman Media may bring Chelsea more opportunities in the future, especially considering her relationship with Victor Newman and Newman Media's strong presence in the media industry. This is the crux of the story. Sally may promise to stay at Marchetti, but she has to face the fact that Chelsea leaving could push the company into crisis. For Summer, this presents a dilemma, as she is caught between keeping Sally and keeping Marchetti from suffering too much. Summer has always felt pressured when faced with major corporate decisions, but this time, the pressure comes from emotional and strategic factors, making it even harder for her to find a reasonable solution. Phyllis, a new opportunity or a new life? Faced with difficulties at work, Summer cannot help but think of another solution. Phyllis Summers, a strong and experienced woman in the industry, may be the key to solving her problems. After Phyllis recently lost her job, Summer realized that she could bring Phyllis into Marchetti and give her an important role. Phyllis could replace Chelsea as Marchetti's creative director and could help find Sally's replacement at Marchetti Z. Phyllis, despite her past conflicts with Summer, is an obvious choice. She needs a new purpose in life, and Marchetti could be the place for Phyllis to reinvent her career. Joining Marchetti would not only help her find herself, but could also provide her with great opportunities to take the company to the next level. Phyllis has always been ambitious and has the ability to see opportunity in every situation. With her long experience in the industry, she knows exactly what needs to be done to get Marchetti out of trouble. However, Phyllis's return will not be easy. She will face opposition from those around her, especially from Summer, who is still skeptical about Phyllis's ability to maintain harmony within the company. Although Summer recognizes Phyllis's outstanding qualities, she cannot help but worry that Phyllis will disrupt the plans and strategies she has outlined. Furthermore, Phyllis's arrival may create discontent within the company, as others may feel that they are not being appreciated. Summer and the big decision. Summer, with her sharp and talented work ethic, is faced with a strategic decision. She needs to keep Marchetti afloat in this competitive market, but at the same time, she must deal with internal issues. When she hears Sally's promises to stay if Chelsea leaves, Summer feels trapped in an uncontrollable situation. She does not want to lose either of them, but keeping Sally could be detrimental to the company, while letting Sally go could plunge the company into a major crisis. Phyllis appears as someone who can help Summer solve this problem. While bringing Phyllis on as creative director could create relationship problems, Summer understood that Phyllis had the experience and ability to steer the company through a difficult time. Phyllis might not be the perfect fit, but she could work hard to keep the company afloat and even take Marchetti to the next level. Clashes and collaborations. With these decisions, the confrontation between the characters becomes more intense than ever. The relationship between Summer, Sally, Chelsea, and Phyllis will certainly not be simple. Summer will have to solve internal problems in the company without damaging personal relationships. The relationship between her and Phyllis may become complicated, but it can also be an opportunity for them to understand each other better and find a way to cooperate for the common good of the company. Meanwhile, Sally will have to face a difficult choice between staying or leaving. Can she maintain her commitment to Summer and help the company through this period, or will she choose the new opportunity that Chelsea brings? All will be decided in the next episodes of The Young and the Restless, when every decision can change the fate of these characters. Summer Newman and the challenge, power, strategy, and crisis at Marchetti. In the complex world of The Young and the Restless, the Newman family is constantly faced with crises that put their power and loyalty to the test. Recently, Summer Newman has faced double trouble, not only a strained relationship with her family but also a challenging career at Marchetti. Meanwhile, Victor Newman, her powerful father, is pursuing a bold plan to control Claire Newman, and Audra's involvement complicates things. But can Summer keep the company and family together amid this intrigue and danger? Victor Newman and the unpredictable strategy. Victor Newman, with his power and influence, never sits idly by when his family is threatened. When he learns that his daughter Claire is living with Kyle Abbott, a man whom Victor does not appreciate, he quickly realizes that this is a big threat to the Newman family's power. With a sharp and decisive look, Victor knows that he must act immediately to prevent this relationship from becoming more serious. Nikki Newman, Victor's wife, knows that Claire living with Kyle will make her husband angry. However, Nikki also knows that if not handled tactfully, Victor can make things worse. Therefore, Nikki decides to carry out a plan to help Victor understand Claire's situation better, convince him to accept the fact that their daughter is an adult and has the right to decide her own life. However, for Victor, this is not simple. He will not stop trying to intervene and regain control, despite the objections of those around him. Audra, Victor's tool. Realizing the importance of controlling Claire and Kyle's relationship, Victor decided to contact Audra, who had close ties to the Newman family. Audra, although a smart and resourceful woman, was undeniably facing a big challenge. Victor asked Audra to help him ensure that Claire and Kyle would break up as soon as possible. However, as usual, Victor did not simply make a request but also increased the level of risk for Audra. He knew that Audra was capable of completing the job quickly and efficiently, but if she failed, the consequences would be dire. Therefore, Victor not only made a threat but also promised to give Audra a large reward if she completed the task on time. This leaves Audra with a difficult choice. Follow Victor's orders and risk her loyalty to others, or refuse and face the wrath of one of the most powerful men in the business world. Marchetti crisis, Summer and the big challenge. While Victor's machinations and the Newman family squabbles rage on, Summer Newman faces an equally serious challenge at Marchetti. As CEO of the company, Summer has always faced high expectations from her family and the employees around her. However, when she discovers that both Chelsea Lawson and Sally Spectra have received lucrative job offers from other companies, she feels a growing sense of anxiety. Sally and Chelsea are two important people on Summer's team at Marchetti, and losing them both would be disastrous for the company. Although Summer tries to stay calm and confident, she can't help but feel panicked when she realizes that not one, but two important positions may be vacant. Furthermore, her strained relationship with Sally, coupled with the tensions in their working relationship, forces Summer to find a way to handle this delicately. However, Chelsea reassures Summer that she won't leave if Sally decides to move to Abbott Communications. This gives Summer some peace of mind, but she also realizes that these promises may not be enough. As everything seems to be falling apart, Summer is faced with the big question. Can she save her company, or will Marchetti face an uncertain future? Phyllis, an unexpected solution? As Summer struggles to find a solution to her company's problems, an unexpected solution may appear. Phyllis Summers. After being laid off, Phyllis is looking for an opportunity to rebuild her career. Summer may find that Phyllis is the person who can help her solve her current problems. Although Phyllis and Summer don't always get along, Phyllis is ambitious and has leadership skills. Phyllis could replace Chelsea as creative director at Marchetti, and help find Sally's replacement at Marchetti Z. With her experience and talent in the industry, Phyllis could help Summer's company overcome these difficulties. However, getting Phyllis to join the company will not be simple. She will have to convince the other employees of Phyllis's abilities and maintain harmony in the work environment. Phyllis and Summer's relationship will be tested, but if they can work together, Marchetti will have a chance to rebuild and thrive. The end, the fateful decision. Ultimately, this story will lead to a crucial decision for Summer to make. Can she keep her company going while dealing with complicated family relationships and work conflicts? Or will she have to accept loss and change to keep what's most important? In a world filled with intrigue and calculation, Summer must learn to balance power, loyalty, and her own career. And perhaps, in this battle, no one will win completely.